Hello and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Well, we're in the first day of summer, and when we transitioned from spring to summer there was an event, and what it decided was, well, there's been a nasty storm and your buildings are damaged. So if I get the hammer and switch over to repair, you can see some parts of these buildings that are in red. So they're the damaged parts. I mean, all of these different panels that we've got here, they've all got a different state of repair, basically, the condition that they're in. Now, until they get to a certain point, you can't fix them. You've got to wait until they're in red. So we've got these, like, it's 94%, but I can't, just fix it, basically, and bring it up to 100%. I've got to wait until it deteriorates to the point where it has to be fixed, which is interesting, I suppose, but I suppose it makes life a bit easier because all I've got to do is just wait until it does get to that point where it's so bad you've got to fix it. So that's basically the first thing I need to do. While I'm doing that, we've got Denica out here in the fields. So she's at the minute, she's gathering the flax that we planted in the spring. At some point she'll move on to gathering the actual the cabbages and the onions that we sowed as well. Well, I say we, it was actually her, because she's a farmer. She's got two fields to look after at the minute. So she'll be putting all of the flax into the main storage building there, and we'll have to then take that over to the barn, thrash that to get our flax seeds for planting next spring. And then once we've got a big surplus of flax seeds, we can then start selling it off and making money from it. We'll also get straw as a sort of like a byproduct, which is quite useful. And then when she starts gathering the cabbages and the onions, she'll put those into the food storage. Now the only thing is that food storage does preserve the food, and one of the things I want to do with the cabbages is turn it into rot. So when we get to the end of this season, I'm just going to basically take it out of the food storage chest, and just leave it on the floor on the last day, so that when we go over to autumn, I'll be able to have some rot, and then in the autumn I'll be able to turn that rot into fertilizer. But yeah, first things first, we need to get these fixed. So I mean, all of these buildings, they're either made from wattle or straw, so the roofing's pretty much just straw, while the walls are just sticks. So we're in repair mode, so now that I've got some sticks, I can just use the actual hammer to repair the wall, and that's that wall fixed. So I've got to go around all of these broken parts and fix them. So I don't have any straw on me, but there's some straw down here where we've got reeds. I mean, there is sticks and there is straw in the actual storage place, but at this stage of the game, I'm more inclined to just keep gathering things, because then I'll be getting XP from it. So I want the reeds down there. So yeah, it is a bit easier if I go to the actual central storage and just pick up the items from there, but I'm missing out on this XP. So it's the extra grind at the start of the game makes a lot of sense, because then that starts to unlock all of the schemers and so on. So let's get that one done. Oh, don't have enough sticks for that, but should have enough to get that roof done. So yeah, it's pretty much rinse and repeat. Go around all of these buildings, repair them. I mean, if I do go into management, what's quite useful is if you go into the building section, you've got all of these, all of these have just collapsed down. But if I expand out the houses, you can see they've got this little like splatter against them. So I know which buildings do need fixing. So I need to fix those 3 houses. I need to fix the woodshed. We need to fix our barn. We need to fix the kitchen, and I need to fix both the food storage and the resource storage. So I'm going to have to do a bit more gathering. Now that was handy. So because Denica is actually working on the field, I mean, you saw that all of a sudden we've just gained some technology in farming. And that's just basically because Denica is working in the field. So she's at the, well, we're at the point now where we've got enough points in farming technology to be able to build a pigsty, which would be useful. But I do have other plans. That's one of the reasons I'm putting these people into the village, is the fact that while they're working, it's actually getting me experience as well. So it saves me doing that sort of stuff all the time, and I can then concentrate on other things like doing the quests, doing the storylines, the chapters, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it makes my life a heck of a lot easier by getting other people to help along. So first things first, I need to get this place fixed. It's almost the end of the day. I mean, it's 5:20 in the evening, and I haven't really done much, to be honest. I've just gone around all of these buildings and repaired them, so I've started to gather quite a lot of straw and sticks and so on. I mean, Danica's finished with the field and she's working on the cabbages. She's almost finished that, actually. But I've had to take care of other things because all of these people need tools, so I'm just double checking I've covered them all. Yeah, I have. And now the woodshed. I thought I'd fix the woodshed. That's interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of time being spent where I've been having to go out and gather straw, gather sticks, gather stones. They have actually introduced an actual builder into the final release, which is good. But that's a long way off. You need a lot of technology points to be able to do that. Yeah, that's the hunter there, and that's the woodshed. I must have been a bit puzzled because it said it was damaged. But yeah, so for now we're having to go and repair all this stuff ourselves. So it's costing me quite a lot in time. Yeah, I'm a bit puzzled this because this is the woodshed and that's at 100%. And it's just the wall, so as far as it's concerned, its condition is 17%, so that's a bit weird. Not sure what's going on there. But anyway, the plans are I need to get some of this load passed off to somebody else. I need other people to start doing things for me, basically, so I can start concentrating on things like the quest and so on. So for that reason, because it's summer, what I'm going to do is actually prioritize building an actual herbalist. So if I go to extraction, I can build a herbalist. And I mean, where we're actually based, somewhere around here are lots of berries. Yeah, there's a lot of berries here. So there's a big pile of them there. Should be another pile. Yeah, there's another pile of berries over here as well. So I think what I'm going to do next is build a herbalist over here, because then I can get somebody to gather berries every summer. They'll be able to go out and gather mushrooms during different times of the year. They'll be able to get the the herbs as well, and then at some point they can start being able to produce like various potions and what have you, which is really useful. Something that just got introduced into the full release, but I need somewhere for them to live. So I think what I'll do is probably chop that tree down, take the stump out, and then build a house there. So that's what I need to do now. I can do that during the night. I can at least get started anyway. I'm going to have to gather a lot of logs. I don't think it'll take much to build the actual herbalists. I'll need quite a bit to build a house. And then what we'll do once that's done is be able to actually go out and find someone, or hire someone. Because if I can get them started at least during the summer, they can work. I can just get them to prioritise picking the berries, because I really want those berries, not so much for the food as the fact that I'll be able to use those as rot as well as the cabbage at the end of this season. So that'll save me on the fertiliser costs for autumn. So yeah, a lot more grinding, a lot more chopping down of trees, gathering of sticks, gathering of straw. So I'll get started with that. We're now into day 2, and I've got our herbalist built over here. So I put it down here because it's quite close to some berries. There's a bunch of berries there as well as over there. I know there's some over there as well. I mean, if I hold down the inspector mode, there's actually some over there as well. Oh, no, that's interesting. How come I've got logs up there? How? I must have been chopping things down. This is the trouble. You chop things down and they end up all over the place. But yeah, so we've now got that. But it's not just the berries. I mean, they can go out and look for all sorts of things. I know there's quite a lot of deadly nightshade around here, interestingly enough. I mean, there'll be other sort of things. There's like St. John's wort, there's the broadleaf plantain. During different seasons, you're going to get different mushrooms will show up as well that we can gather. But just have a bit of a look inside. I mean, I do like this, I must admit. It's a bit dark, I must admit. We could do with some lighting in these sort of places, but, you know, it's quite decorative. But what we've got is, over there you've got herbalist's table, so that just seems to be pretty much it. I mean, there is the chest to give a bit more extra capacity for storage. The idea is if you run out of storage in a central location, you can still store things in that chest. But for now, because we've got enough room, whenever the herbalist produces anything, it'll end up in the main storage area, which is exactly what we need. So, out of curiosity, what can we do with this place? Well, there's all these healing potions, and they're going to cost me money to unlock them. So, if I'm going to hire anybody, I can hire somebody to at least gather things, I suppose. But if I want to get them to make potions, it's going to cost me $250, for example, to unlock a healing potion. We don't have enough technology to be able to get level 2. Oh, no, that's an instant healing one versus just a healing one. So that one does plus 1.5 per second, whereas that's just plus 20. So there's timed ones as well, and then there's cures for different poisons that you've got. Torch just broke. I'll use that one. That should last a bit longer. So yeah, so then there's the cures for poisons, and then there's also one for sobering you up when you're intoxicated, basically. I've got enhancement potions, enhance your health, enhance your stamina. Oh, so that reduces the food capacity, your food requirements. That'll lower the water consumption. That one gives you a boost to weight. That one gives you better temperature tolerance. That one will give you more strength, so you can do more damage. And other potions you've got are... Ooh, night. Now that one sounds extremely useful, night vision. But 2,500 technology to unlock. There's one to actually create poisons. Camouflage. Yeah, interesting. So presumably that's a way to hide from the animals out there. Then you've got Potion of Possibilities. It doesn't actually tell you what it is. You can tell by some of them just based on the names. But possibilities. Maybe that just increases your chances, because I know when you go digging in clay, for example, you might find things, so maybe that's what that is. And then we're into arrows, all these different types of arrows that we can create and poison. So you need the actual specific arrow created, and then you add poison to them. So you've actually got to create the poison and then you apply it to the arrows. That's interesting. So separate schemas, so that's going to cost you money. But yeah, we've now got that, and we've got a house for this person to live in. That's pretty good. So it's just a matter of going out and finding someone. Now it looks like Damrica's more or less finished in that field. Yeah, she's finished collecting all the flax, so I'm going to have to thrash that. She's almost finished collecting the onions, so probably by the time I get back she'll be finished. So, actually, oh, there you go. Actually, I've got a skill for extraction, so... I mean, if I unlock a level 2 or tier 2, so... then that'll be able... because I'm quite interested in mule. I must admit, because I've getting those bags, I'm not doing too bad, so I think at this stage, I think I'm just going to max out my extraction knowledge, because then I'll get more points. So I'm now completely maxed out. I'll get 15% more experience by doing extraction. What I want to do, though, is I want to find out, before I just disappear, I'm going to grab this bag and see what I can plant. If there's anything in particular that might be beneficial, so... because it's summer, isn't it? Yeah, it's summer. So what can we plant in the summer? Cabbages. And that's it. Oh, we can plant the cabbages. Fair enough. In which case, Ah, right, okay. So in which case, actually, there's a thought. So the field's already set to grow cabbages anyway. Go to there. That one's completely maxed out for flax. And that one's set to cabbages. So once you've harvested those onions, you should swap over and start putting fertilizer in there. Which actually raises a good question. Have I actually got any left? And I'll put that back first. Doesn't look as though we've got any. Have we got any rot? I don't think we have. We might have a very small amount in the yeah, I think we've got a very, very small amount in the actual barn. Not in the barn, in the food storage here. Yeah, I've only got 6, so I just don't have enough. So she won't be able to put the fertilizer down anyway. I mean, I could get her just to make another field, just turn another field over, I suppose. Yeah, I've got a total of about 7 lots, so in that case, I think what I'll do is I'll just keep her occupied with another field. I mean, it's going to cost me money. It didn't cost you money for any taxes when you were doing this in early access, but it's not that particularly expensive, so I may as well just keep her occupied for now. That's too far. So what were we hitting? Oh, we're hitting the building. All right, okay. That's about our limit there. That'll keep her busy anyway. Because at least what she's then doing is she's gathering us experience whenever she's doing our work. I mean, I've moved the actual rabbit trap over here because once that was finished, I thought, well, actually, I want to be able to build other things along here, so it made sense to move it. So the plan is she should be now busy enough to be able to focus on that, keep her occupied. So I need to go and do a bit of a tour of these areas, these villages, to find out if I can find somebody who can, well, be a herbalist, basically. Which, incidentally, I should really set up a list of things to do. Oh, she's complaining she doesn't have a bag. I'll put that bag back. She must have... Ah, right. No, she's not just complaining because there's no fertilizer. That's what it is. Let's have a look. At least she was complaining of something. Okay, fair enough. It's a bit difficult to tell, but I'm pretty sure she'll be complaining of no fertilizer. Maybe that's why she was getting finished with that, and she was going to start to do the fertilizer here, and she couldn't. But what she's now done is, oh, there's a field I can plough, so she's off to do that. Right. Yes, herbalist. Right. So what can I at least get a herbalist to do? So if we're going to under extraction, we've got a herbalist tour. I mean, we don't have anybody assigned, but once they are assigned, I can give them a list of things to do. So I could just get them to focus on the berries, for example, and just nothing but berries. The idea is then I'll be able to get quite a lot of rot in the next season. There's all these other sort of things. I mean, if I lower that down a bit, what's interesting, it does actually tell you. I'll find out. I'll have to wait for a worker, but it also tells you if there's something that you've got assigned is actually out of season. So that's quite useful, I must admit. So every season, it probably makes sense to actually come back and revisit this and change the actual task list, just to make sure that you know that the person's got something to do every season. Because once we're finished with the summer, that's it. There's no more berries to collect anyway. So I'll be able to get them to focus on specific mushrooms, for example. But anywho, we need to go wandering and find somebody who can do this job, which is another thing I need to find out, actually. So this is somebody who's a gatherer. If we go back into that herbalist, I say if I get Rosalinda to assign her, right, so you can tell there it's saying you need somebody who's got a survival skill. So I need to find somebody with that level 3 in survival. So yeah, time to go wandering. It's not too late, so I should be able to get a reasonable tour, although fingers crossed I'll find somebody in Gustovia straight away. Well, I haven't found anybody here in Gostovia, but we've got Alwin's quest. We can pick that up because it's summer. So we'll go have a chat with him and see if we can get some progress on this. Right, so he is busy. Okay, but he's got a problem with his water skin. Oh, okay, so we can't just get him a new one. We've got to. Looks like he wants it repaired. Fair enough. Okay, so he wants us to take it over to the seamster over in Denica, it seems. Okay, fair enough. He specifically wants us to go all the way over to Denica to get Matilda to fix it for him for some strange reason. Anyway, I've got my own priorities. We need to do a bit of a tour. I mean, if I can find anybody along that path, if not, maybe I'll have to wait until I get to Denica, but either way, I still need to find somebody who's got a level 3 in extraction. Now, for some strange reason, I keep thinking it's extraction. It's not. It's actually survival. It's the survival skill, because if I go into my skills, it's that one there, the one that's got the fish against it, the fish and the fishing spear, if you will. So, yeah, I need somebody with that specific skill at level 3. And I've just come over here to Borowow, and there's actually 2 people. So we've got Lorelei here. Now she's got extraction, she's got hunting, and she's got survival. Agnes here. Now what's Agnes got? So she's just got survival. So I'm actually tempted to. In that case, I mean, to me, it makes more sense to hire Lorelei. I mean, there could be other people out there, but she's got 3 skills in, at level 3, so she could be pretty versatile. I'm just out of curiosity,
How can I help you?
See what she's interested in. Okay, so she likes being outdoors. She's 19. How can you be getting old at 19? So she likes cutting down things more than anything. She's probably better suited to being a lumberjack. She doesn't like being in the fields. Okay, which isn't too bad. I mean, she's.
Have a good day.
What about Agnes then? Wow, Agnes is 30. Medieval times. That's seriously old. Right, small talk. So. Okay. Okay, right, fair enough. So how are you doing? You're the same now. See, I can understand when she's saying she feels as though she's getting old compared to what Lorelei was telling me. Ah, now interesting. She actually does. She is interested in finding mushrooms. So I'm kind of. It sounds kind of nuts, but I'm actually more tempted. I'm actually more tempted to hire her. I don't know if it'll actually matter, because if you give somebody a job they don't like to do, I think that might go against you when it comes to their morale. So she does seem quite interested in going out and picking things, versus Lorelei is more interested in chopping things down. To be fair, I only need a person assigned to a task, so I think for that reason, I think I'm going to hire Agnes to do this thing.
How can I help you?
Right then, so off she goes. So, I need to put her into a little house. Oh wow, some of these are all getting old quite craggy. In comparison to us, I mean, I think we're only 19 as well. Right, so we need to put Agnes into a house. She needs somewhere to live, so I'm going to put her into that one. So that's the new one. So we've already got somebody living there, and the trouble is if I put the 2 of them together, because you can put a man and a woman into the same house, so it does save you on taxes for one thing. But yeah, I could then run the risk of, if they have kids, then all of a sudden Agnes is out of the sort of the production supply, because she's going to be busy looking after her kids. So hence the reason why I'm putting people into their own home. So that'll take care. Once she gets back, she'll be able to sort out her own food and water because we're gathering that. But she'll need a job, otherwise she's going to get bored. In which case, we'll assign her to the herbalist job. So we assign her. So you can see it's highlighting that she's level 3. So if we come out of that, go over to the housing or buildings, if you will, go to the herbalist's hut. So her morale's going down at the minute because she hasn't got all of the things that she needs yet, which that'll be sorted out soon. Now if I come back to here, you can see she doesn't need any tools to gather this sort of stuff. In which case she can just work flat out on that, and she'll end up producing about 75 berries in a day, which, yeah, that doesn't sound that much, to be honest, now that I think of it, because I had about 1,000 or something just collected in a few minutes. But I'm just going to lower that, because you can see if I select like St. John's Wort, for example, yep, she can be working on that. Broadleaf plantain, yep, she can be working on that. Daisies, yep. Chicory, yep. Dandelions, yep. Thistles, henbane, yep. So these are all things that she can find at the minute. Moral mushrooms, there you go. Invalid season. So this is a way to find out if things are in season or out of season. I mean, I'll have to unlock these schemas to be able to get it to start producing things like the healing potions. Now those, so they are dandelions, so that gives me an incentive to get it to look for dandelions. Yeah, so broadleaf plantain plus dandelions, but I'll then have to start supplying the buckets of water. But there's no reason not to at least get it to focus a bit of our time on that. So I'll just take that back a bit to say 3 is a nice round number. So she can be working on those for now. Stamina. Now that needs the chicory. Now we don't have hops. Hops again. Thistles and chicory. Night vision is henbane. I think that was quite a ways off before we could do that one. But yeah, they sound all useful things. So her needs are now sorted out. So she's just going to head on home. In which case, I think what I might do then, it's only getting towards 3 o'clock. What I've been doing is I actually got some manure from while I was over in Gostovia. I didn't get enough though, so I'm going to head back because in Gostovia there is I know there's somebody who's selling cows, so I can get some more manure because I didn't get as much as I'd need. Let's see, how much have I got? 58, so that's not quite enough. I need 80 to be able to produce 40 fertilizer to be able to get those cabbages done. So I'm going to take a bit of a whistle-stop tour of Gostovia, try and get more manure from someone else, and then we're going to head over to Denica. Well, it's actually day 3 of summer, so this is the final day of the season. Now, what I actually did is on the way back, I've been stopping off to gather berries basically, and I've put them into the storage, at least for now, because the idea is when we get right to the end of the day, I'm going to get them out, drop them on the floor, and I'll leave them to rot, so that I'll have some rot in the autumn, which we can use to make fertilizer. Now because of that, I've actually managed to get some extra points. So we've maxed out survival knowledge. I'm going to max out the athlete one, that'll be useful. And I'm going to put some into survivalist as well, because that one means we're now at max we can get out of this skill. Our stamina and our food, well, our stamina consumption when we're running around is going to go down 30% less. I want to put the other one into survivalist, because then that means our water and food consumption goes down 20% less. So next time I get a point, I'll probably put it in then, and then I think it comes down to maybe strong as an ox, solid as a rock for the other points we get. Now then, our other half Damrock is actually finished, as far as I can tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy this field here, at least for now. I think I'll expand that one out, Because that one's been producing our flax and it's done. I don't think I've got enough sticks for that. Yeah, just go and grab some sticks. But what we've got from this season is we've got quite a lot of cabbages, which you want to put in here because this is not the food storage area. But at least you put the cabbage seeds in. But we've got all of this flax, so I'm going to grab that. I've got my manure. Actually, I may as well leave that fur in there. So one thing I do want to do is I want to convert all of this manure over, so she can at least get going with the cabbages. Because the trouble is, there's cabbages and there's onions to be planted. Now, technically, the only part of the field I would want to actually put the fertilizer down in is where we're going to grow the cabbages, because it's the season to be putting cabbage seeds down. But I don't know what the order is. I don't know what a strategy is. I'll just have to find out. Now, once we've got the fertilizer done, I'm just going to pop that into the chest here. It doesn't really matter whether you put it into the central chest for the resource storage, or whether you put it into the actual barge. We'll go and collect it from either. But what I do also want to do is thrash out the flax that we've got. So I'm going to leave that there. I'll just grab that. So she'll be able to gather that fertilizer, and and at this stage I don't know whether which part she's going to touch. But what I would like to do is probably get some more fertilizer, just on the off chance she decides to do the onions instead. I mean, I suppose what I could do to make my life simpler, just to be on the sure side, is, I mean, I could go in there and just clear that out. That's one way. So I could just say, don't grow anything at all over there. I suppose that's one way. So now all she'll do is she'll just focus on the cabbages over there. Unless, drat, now she's going to do it on where the flax goes. Okay, I've lost that. I've lost that argument. Okay, fair enough. She's going to do that field over there anyway, regardless. In which case I'm going to have to now get tons of manure. Food bar. Right, okay. I may as well put these back then. Right, so we'll put those down there. I'm going to have to work out how much manure I'm going to have to buy now. Right, what else was I going to do? Oh yes, I'm going to thrash the flax that we've got, because from that I'll be able to get a surplus of flax grain. I'll also get the flax stalks, which technically I don't need yet, because I don't have anywhere to make, or to convert that into linen thread, for example. You need a sewing hut, I think it is. Yeah, you need a sewing hut, I think it is. Obviously you'd want to hire a seamster to actually do that automatically, but at the moment I'm not that far down on the technology tree. So I'll keep it to one side, because it takes about 10 of those stalks to make one linen thread, so I may as well just keep the surplus. But it's the seeds. I mean, we've getting 318 flax, which is going to give us 318 flax grain, or flax seeds I should say. So that's more than that 10 by 10 field that I've got. So I'm going to keep enough to make say like a 16 by 16 field, and whatever's left I'll sell that off. So I'll make some money when I go over to Denica, because that's where I want to go in this last day. Head over to Denica. We'll complete this quest for Alwin. I'll then head back to Gostovia, and that'll complete his quest, and it'll probably be a case of I'll come back at some other time of the year. But at least I'll be able to sell some of this excess flax off, and then I'll be able to get some money with out of that to buy the manure. I know there's some goats over there, so they might have some. Yeah, I think they might have some manure there. Otherwise, I might have to stop off somewhere else to find that extra manure that I need. So I'm going to finish this off, and then we're going to head over to Denica. Right then, so we're over in Denica now. I've just been to see, it was Dagobert here. Yeah, Dagobert. I managed to get some manure off him. He didn't have as much as I could have done with. Oddly enough, the person who looks after the actual goats, I can't buy anything off her for some strange reason. I would have thought I could have.
What can I do for you?
Nothing, it seems, oddly enough. So I've got all these goats, but I can't, and I can actually buy goats, but I can't buy anything specifically off her for some reason. So I'm getting 70 manure from Dagobert, and I've purchased an extra 5 fertilizer, because it actually dawned on me, because we're going to head into autumn shortly anyway, and I've got like a lot of berries that are going to end up getting turned into rot. I've got cabbages that are going to get turned into rot. So I don't see much point in like buying tons and tons of fertilizer. I'm just going to leave Damrika to get on with putting the fertilizer down there. You know, she'll use up whatever she uses up. I can actually put the fertilizer down just specifically for the cabbages, and that sorts that problem out. So it doesn't really matter if she doesn't put it down. I've got enough by buying it to put it down myself, and then the excess fertilizer we actually do need for other things I'll get next season, because it's only the cabbages I'm interested in this season. Anyway, we're here to see Matilda as well. Yep, problem with the water skin. Let's go. Can you fix it? Okay, what do you need? Okay. Right, so my choices are hunt deer or hunt boar. Now this should be interesting because, as far as I'm aware, the actual deer, I don't think you can one-shot a deer with this thing. If I had better arrows, I could. Now the boar, on the other hand, the boars are a real pain I'm finding, because you'll hit them, then they'll run away, and then they'll suddenly turn around and come and charge you, and then they'll take a bit of an arc. So the next thing you know, they're coming in this sort of direction, and they'll come in at the side. And I find that difficult to deal with, to be honest. Now, I don't know if as I say, I don't think these arrows stick either. That's the other downside. Yeah, so my arrow is now wandering off down here for some strange reason. And I can't catch it. So that thing's just run off somewhere. So that's a pain. What if can I hit? Let me put that away in a second from here. Can you stay still? No, you're not going to. You're the same, are you? Yes, before, I'm pretty sure in early access you just have to hit one of these things just once, and that was it. And the trouble is, oh, there it is. So that one's running away. That's the trouble, and I know full well I can't keep up with it. So I've no idea where it's gone to. I mean, that thing's run off in that direction. So that's frustrating. That's frustrating. If I had better arrows, this would be a lot easier. Now the boar, on the other hand, boar are a real pain. Oh, actually, I wonder if that's the same one. Yeah, chances are slim. Just for giggles, let's see what we'll get with a boar, because those, last time I tried those, as I say, that they've got this annoying attack pattern. Yeah, I don't have the skill yet to actually to see them. So there's a moose. I mean, I do have some broadleaf plantain to heal myself, but you don't get much from healing as you used to. So there's a boar over there. Right, I'll hit that. No, it's... See it? It's... That is just weird, that. That's just a weird pattern that started going in. So they don't just, like, before they used to just run straight at you. Now they're running a strange pattern. It's not quite the same, because that was, I must admit, I was a lot closer to that one. if you're further away, they tend to run away, and then they'll suddenly charge at you from a distance, and that's when they're more likely to take this weird pan. Now, normally where there's one, there's others. Tend to be in like clusters of 3 or more. Well, 2 or 3, I think. Was that one down there? There's one down there. So let's try hitting that one from a bit of a distance and see what it does, because when I first tried it, they actually ran away, and then they suddenly decided to charge afterwards. Oh no, this one's just coming straight at me. Oh, there. Ow! Yeah, it took a kind of a weird curve there. Very odd. I mean, I should really be... I mean, things like boar, you're supposed to be hunting them with spears, to be honest, but... Right. We're going to head back. We'll hand these leathers in, so... Where are we at? Yeah, quite a distance away. Oh, what was that? Trouble is, like, there's wolves and all sorts in this area. So we should be able to get this handed in. I've got some fertilizer. I'm just bearing... time it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't have as much time to get much done. But what I want to do is get the put that away. What I want to do is I want to get those little sections of field fertilized, and I want the cabbage seeds put down so that they'll grow and we'll have more cabbages next season. Right, okay, so there you go, there's your leather. Okay. I mean, my priority, I mean, as much as I want to be able to take that back over to Alwin, my priority is really going to be the field, so that's where we're going to head to, get those sorted out in the time that we've got. Well, there's not much time left in this day. It's day 3 of summer, so I think, realistically, I think I'm just going to call time on it. I mean, I managed to get back and to be able to make all of the fertilizer that I needed for the cabbage plots. So I've been able to create all the fertilizer, and I managed to put that all down, but by the time I'd started, it got to about 7 o'clock, and Denica, well, she'd down tools like everybody else. She was finished for the day, so I had to go back all over that with a hoe to rake it in. Then I had to put all the cabbage seeds in. That took me to about 9:30, so that's pretty much as far as I can go. But what I have done as well is the berries that we had, I've dropped them on the floor. The cabbages that we've grown since spring, I've dropped them on the floor, so they'll all rot. So when we come back and it's autumn, we should have quite a bit of rot, which we can then turn into fertilizer and use that on the fields. So that's why I only bought just enough to be able to get the cabbages done, because it kind of like suddenly dawned on me, well, there's nothing else to grow, so I may as well just get enough so that I can get the cabbages done, and we'll have plenty of fertilizer for the next season anyway. Although bearing in mind there's not a great deal left needed, to be honest, to finish that part of the field. The only thing I was focusing on here was going to be the onions down there. They're not ready to be grown until spring anyway. But we should have enough fertilizer that Denica should at least be able to finish this section and the other field off in the next season. I'm kind of curious. Last time I was looking, these fields were costing 10 in tax. Now they're up to 15. That's interesting. I don't know whether the taxes seem to be going up over time or what, but it's the first time I've noticed that the fields cost more. Anyway, I think the next thing I want to focus on probably is going to be a smithy, because with those, I mean, I can use one of those to actually try to get some money out of, say, like arrows. I can get somebody to just keep making arrows, because we'll get feathers from the hunter. The lumberjack's going out gathering sticks as well. We'll have to probably do the stone ourselves. We'll have to keep gathering stone, make sure there's a reasonable amount of stone in the hut, in the resource storage, to keep them occupied. But then, as long as that's just ticking over, that should give us another way to make money. I think I'm going to also try and see if I can get them to make maybe the odd knife, maybe once a day. Just depends. As they're not particularly skilled, morale's low, so I can't expect too much at this stage. But I've got to start somewhere. So yeah, I think that's the next thing is going to be a smithy. But that's all for another episode.